Welcome to the Atomic Voodoo Lounge podcast, Nevermore Celebration. I'm Maxwell Vagus, your host for this special Raven Halloween episode. Tonight, we'll spread a blanket of music and spoken word wonders down upon New Stanton's Plutonian shore so you can recline and coffin solitude or provide the needed auditory touch to your seasonal celebrations and gatherings. We are here to serve you because you clacked our Marley knocker, and we'd love nothing more than to sink our claws into you and keep you forever. Stay tuned for several cocktails of the evening, 6-word horror stories, a wide variety of surfy sounds, a Maxwell Vagus reading of The Raven, and other spooky delights. Well, it's that time of year, folks, where the Atomic Voodoo Lounge is blessed with bird above the barroom door, if you will. So, let's start tonight's festivities with the classic Raven cocktail. This version is visually striking and layered with a deep purple-black hue. You'll need 1 ounce vodka, 1 ounce rum, 1 ounce blue curacao, and 1 ounce Chambord or raspberry liqueur. Shake vodka, rum, and blue curacao with ice. Strain into a highball glass filled with fresh ice. Slowly pour the Chambord over the back of a spoon to float it on top. Garnish with mint, cherries, or blackberries for that gothic touch. And enjoy. Let's get this Halloween party off to a shaking good start with a little Mambo Mutant by the Mutants off of Death Race 3000. Yes, indeed. Mambo Mutant by the Mutants, courtesy of Green Cookie Records. Hopefully you didn't spill your drink during that energetic tune. But if you did, no worries. Head back to the bar and have another. On the house, tell them to put it on Maxwell's tab. Let's take it on back to those Halloween nights of yesteryear, running from house to house with swinging pillowcases filled with Clark bars and mallow cups, the clatter and run of handfuls of corn against curtain window panes, and the clustered darkness just beyond the ravine, the darkness which pressed the edge of fear and eventually overtook the entire town as we sat before glowing cathode ray tubes, Dracula's scan-lined visage burned into the brain of fitful sleeps. Well, that's the way I remembered it. But here's one that goes back even further. A poem from the past. Halloween in a Suburb by H.P. Lovecraft. The steeples are white in the wild moonlight, and the trees have a silver glare. Past the chimneys high, see the vampires fly, and the harpies of upper air that flutter and laugh and stare. For the village dead to the moon outspread never shone in the sunset's gleam, but grew out of the deep that the dead years keep, where the rivers of madness stream down the gulfs to a pit of dream. A chill wind weaves through the rows of sheaves in the meadows that shimmer pale, and comes to twine where the headstones shine and the ghouls of the churchyard wail for harvests that fly and flail. Not a breath of the strange gray gods of change that tore from the past its own can quicken this hour, when a spectral power spreads sleep o'er the cosmic throne and looses the vast unknown. So here again stretched the veil and plain that moons long forgotten saw, and the dead leap gay in the pallid ray, sprung out of the tomb's black maw to shake all the world with awe. And all that the morn shall greet forlorn, the ugliness and the pest of rose where thick rise the stones and brick, shall someday be with the rest and brood with the shades unblessed. Then wild in the dark let the lemurs bark, and the leprous spires ascend, for new and old alike in the fold of horror and death are penned, for the hounds of time to rend.
Isn't that precious? Somebody just opened up the gates of hell and let me step through. Here I am, tiptoeing through the graveyard.
Sounds like somebody was hitting the old night diver pretty hard. I'm back in control now, thanks to Sam and Harold. That tune was Graveyard by Kitten and the Tonics off of their EP Alarmium, courtesy of Taboo Recordings and House of Taboo. Remember, that's spelled Tabu. If you're a fan of the show, you know this music, Shady by Mad Gravity Studio, mgstudio.com, signals our 6-word story segment where we try to tell a noir or speculative noir or some slipstream genre story in 6 words. Well, to be honest, I started out wanting to write a few 6-word horror stories about a killer court jester, and it turned into quite a long poem that is infused with my latest readings of The Raven and Macbeth. So, sorry to say, I slipped the stream of my own requirements. But each stanza of the poem is written in 6 words, so the intention was there. I'm shifting music to something a bit more ominous. This piece comes courtesy of Dirt Ronan, close friend and musical collaborator throughout the years. I hope you enjoy this long 6-word meditation. Murder in Motley by Maxwell Vagus. Diamond eyes, glowing, synapse-firing streetlight. A court jester stood, dripping midnight. Brain-crowned Marat, shimmering silver moonlight. On the street corner, down below. A murderer outside my bedroom window. A clown dressed all in motley. On silvered moonlit corner, down below. Deadly, otherworldly japes he would play. Conical cap and bells tinkling swayed in everlasting nocturnal end of day. Dusking the streetlight corner down below. A demon outside my childhood window. A fool dressed all in motley on electron sparking juncture somewhere down below. The fool dreaming outrageous sanguinary reveries, summoning, provoking my thick-coming fantasies, overtaking the daytime's gift of faculties, lurking beneath a streetlight down below. A fiend outside my bedroom window, a jester clad all in motley at the spectral crossroads far below. With clownish, malicious steps he came, breaching the bedroom of my brain. Sepulchral smile, spreading red gash stain. Beneath boyhood eyelids, shut tight, closed. A devil infiltrating the mind's windows. A murderer clad all in motley at the bed's foot, just below. Wicked punch standing inside my bedroom, this midnight herald proffering youthful doom. And nighttime cometh unto me, barbarous harlequin, diamond-eyed and bloody bee, murderous jester, weaving patchwork Marat mysteries. Blanket and eyelids cannot slow, unwelcomed guest from without bedroom window. Harlequins dressed all in motley, things lurking neural paths far below. My fears help hide the secret of this uncanny jester's Marat trinket, which he held above my shielding blanket. Who was that fiendish jester below? That murderer outside my bedroom window, that clown dressed all in motley, silvered standing moonlit corners far below. Suddenly I realized my secret error. The cerebellum-topped Marat was a mirror. A snow globe prison of my terror, encased under bone and glass below, wielded on corners beneath childhood windows by jesters dressed all in motley, sad, silvered, and unrecognizable under windows, our mocking brains laughing at us from some crooked corner far below. Murder in Motley by yours truly, Maxwell Vagus. Horror 6 words at a time. And thank you to Dirt Ronin for that lovely piece of synth work. It fit perfectly. Don't forget, the Maxwell Vagus Challenge is open to all Substack subscribers. Send in your best 6-word noir, 6-word speculative, 6-word horror story, what have you, to me, Maxwell Vagus, via Substack for a chance to hear it on an upcoming episode. Next up, we have Urban Surf Kings with Slipstream off of their Astro Surf A Go-Go LP 2018. Urban Surf Kings with Slipstream from Astro Surf A Go-Go. Check them out wherever you download your music, Bandcamp, Apple Music, etc. What's Halloween without a few bats flying around the old belfry? Here we have a poem by Robert E. Howard. The Song of the Bats by Robert E. Howard. The dusk was on the mountain and the stars were dim and frail when the bats came flying from the river and the vale to wheel against the twilight and sing their witchy tale. We were kings of old, they chanted. rulers of a world enchanted, every nation of creation owned our lordship over men. Diadems of power crowned us. Then rose Solomon to confound us. In the forms of beasts he bound us. So our rule was broken then. Whirling, wheeling into westward fled they in their phantom flight. Was it but the wing-beat music murmured through the star-gemmed night? Or the singing of a ghost clan whispering of forgotten might? Every Halloween, a little cosmic terror is in order, and this one especially, with Three-Eye Atlas doing God knows what, going God knows where. The next song is in its honor. The Earth Dies Screaming by the 4D Man, off of Il Fantasmi dello Spazio. The Earth Dies Screaming by the 4D Man on Taboo Recordings. This special edition of the Atomic Voodoo Lounge, the Nevermore episode, is brought to you by me, Maxwell Vagus, and my forthcoming novel, Newsstand. So let's hope the Earth doesn't die screaming, at least within the next year or so. Coming soon from Heavy Sixer Productions, Newsstand, a novel by Maxwell Vagus. Mr. Harold Dean, a shady alcoholic, just woke up with one hell of a hangover at the Starlight Inn, Newstand's dingy motel. The only problem is, Newsstand doesn't exist. Join Mr. Dean on this postmodern night journey through buried memories, liminal spaces, and treachery as he searches for his sole means of escape, a blue 1964 Chevy Malibu. Will he be able to find his car before the evil Dr. Freytag does? Can Mr. Dean trust a host of bizarre characters to help him solve the mysteries of his own dysfunction and accept that Newsstand is exactly where he needs to be? The answer to these questions and many more lies scattered across New Stanton, a town that sits on the edge of a dried-up prehistoric sea, a town that exists inside and down. As we make our way deeper into the festivities, it's always a good... Oh, excuse me. Atomic Voodoo Lounge, Maxwell Vagus here. I was wondering when you three lovelies would grace our presence on the podcast. Not ready? I find that hard to believe. I know you three Ravenbeak sisters are always ready. You... No? Okay. Well, yeah, we could do that. You want to do that over the phone? Hey, I got an idea. How about I patch you through on my secure line so we can get some better audio for this? Ladies and gentlemen, the three Ravenbeak sisters from my novel New Stanton want to give you a sneak peek of our upcoming Macbeth mini episode. And what a better way to start than Act 1, Scene 1.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won, that'll be ere the set of sun.
Where's the place?
Up on the heath, there to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grey Malkin.
Paddock calls.
Anon.
Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air. Leave it to you three to conjure up something truly fantastic. Thanks for calling and thanks for sharing. I'll let everybody know exactly when that Macbeth episode will air. Take care now. Bye-bye. As I was about to say, I think it's time for another cocktail. This one may last you for eternity. It's the Vampire's Kiss Martini. Blood red, seductive, and just the right amount of spooky. Here's what you'll need. 1 ounce chilled vodka, 1 ounce raspberry liqueur like Chambord, 1 ounce cranberry juice, half an ounce fresh lemon juice, and red sugar or crushed red candy for rimming the glass. First, you want to prepare the glass. Rim a martini glass with lemon juice, then dip it into red sugar or crushed red candy for a bloody effect. Then you're going to mix the cocktail. In a shaker filled with ice, combine vodka, raspberry liqueur, cranberry juice, and lemon juice. Shake well until chilled. Pour and garnish. Strain into a prepared glass. For extra drama, add a splash of sparkling wine. Garnish with vampire teeth or a raspberry heart. You can also mix corn syrup with red food coloring and drip it around the rim for that gory touch. Sit back and enjoy. Now, with drink in hand, here's Tropa Magica with Vampiro off of their number 3.
Vampiro by Tropa Magica, courtesy of Green Cookie Records.
Earlier in the show, we had The Song of the Bats by Robert E. Howard. Now, let's go with The Cats by H.P. Lovecraft. And under the poem, I have a tune called Gravestone Pass by Reverend Hank. It's off of El Camino de los Muertos, courtesy of Reverb Ranch. The Cats by H.P. Lovecraft. Babbles of blocks to the high heavens towering, flames of futility swirling below, poisonous fungi in brick and stone flowering, lanterns that shudder and deathlights that glow, black monstrous bridges across oily rivers, cobwebs of cable by nameless things spun, catacombs deep, whose dank chaos delivers streams of live fetor that rots in the sun. Color and splendor, disease and decaying, shrieking and ringing and scrambling insane. Rabbles exotic to stranger gods praying, jumbles of odor that stifle the brain. Legions of cats from the alleys nocturnal, howling and lean in the glare of the moon, screaming the future with mouthings infernal, yelling the burden of Pluto's red rune. Tall towers and pyramids ivied and crumbling, bats that swoop low in the weed-cumbered streets, bleak broken bridges o'er rivers whose rumbling joins with no voice as the thick tide retreats. Belfries that blackly against the moon totter, caverns whose mouths are by mosses effaced, and living to answer the wind and the water, only the lean cats that howl in the waste. Usually you want to resist or avoid the things that drag you down and out into the depths. But tonight, maybe you should consider submitting, letting go. Here's Undertow by Jason Lee's Dark Entities, off of their Gothica EP 2024. Undertow by Jason Lee's Dark Entities, courtesy of Taboo Recordings. Check them out on Bandcamp or Apple Music. We've had our cats, we've had our bats, and now, how about a little ghostly action from Robert E. Howard? The Moor Ghost by Robert E. Howard. They hauled him to the crossroads as day was at its close. They hung him to the gallows and left him for the crows. His hands in life were bloody. His ghost will not be still. He haunts the naked moorlands about the gibbet hill. And oft a lonely traveler is found upon the fen, whose dead eyes hold a horror beyond the world of men. The villagers then whisper with accents grim and dour, "This man has met at midnight the phantom of the moor." All eyes to the skies. What is that? Saucers in the sunset? Maybe. Urban Surf Kings off of Surf versus the Flying Saucers 2024. Saucers in the Sunset by Urban Surf Kings. Check them out on Apple Music or Bandcamp. What is this conspiracy? Oh, it must mean it's time for Edgar Allan Poe. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this and nothing more." Distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December,
and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore?" This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely this is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim, an ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help but agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But then the raven, sitting lonely on the pallid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast, and followed faster till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl, whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining, with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, that God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aden it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. And the raven never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
Well, I hope you've had a good time here tonight on the Nevermore special edition of the Atomic Voodoo Lounge podcast. I think it's fitting that we end tonight's show with Los Venturas, Ahuiho, off of their Playtime 2019 LP, courtesy of Green Cookie Records. Whether bird or beast is above your chamber door, whether bats, cats, mad jesters, or ghosts haunt your dreams, you're always welcome to drink away your misery at the Atomic Voodoo Lounge, New Stanton's one and only literary dive bar. If you haven't done so, kiss that vampire martini goodbye, and if you've had too much, please don't drink and drive. The Starlight Inn is within walking distance. Tell Chaz you're a member of the AVL. I'm Maxwell Vagus, and thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more Atomic Voodoo Lounge stories, music, poetry, and who knows what else. Look for the next episode on November 14th. Remember, Thanksgiving might just be scarier than Halloween. And don't even get me started on Christmas. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe at atomicvoodoolounge.com. Did I mention it's totally free? And spread the good word by sharing this podcast with friends and family and even frenemies by word of mouth and social media. And if you're interested in contributing or being a sponsor, drop me a line and we can discuss the particulars. And don't forget our 6-word noir story challenge. Check out the Atomic Voodoo Lounge on Substack and subscribe. Find out more about Maxwell Vagus and Heavy Sixer Productions at heavysixerproductions.com or maxwellvagus.com. We are available on most major podcast apps, so please look us up. Special thanks to Jason Lee's Dark Entities, The 4D Man, and Kitten and the Tonics, courtesy of Taboo Recordings and House of Taboo at houseoftaboo.com. Urban Surf Kings, Reverend Hank, and Reverb Ranch at urbansurfkings.com. The Mutants, Tropa Magica, and Los Venturas, courtesy of Green Cookie Records, greencookierecords.bandcamp.com. Mad Gravity Studio for their song Shady, which we used under our 6-word noir stories at mgstudio.org. All words and music composed, read, programmed, and or performed by Maxwell Vagus, unless otherwise stated. All text, music, and performances copyright Heavy Sixer Productions, LLC, 2025. All rights reserved. Some sound effects and music used under Creative Commons license. Please be safe out there and meet us back here again at the Atomic Voodoo Lounge podcast. Thank you for listening and have a good night.